Hello, this is Will from Will's Tarot Path. I'm going to try a new little setup today to see how I like it. I'm actually in a study room at my local library. Saturdays at my house are a little chaotic because my son, my wife, the dogs, the cats, everybody's up and about. And so Saturday is usually when I like to do my videos in the evening. But I thought I had some extra time today, so why don't I just get a study room at our local library? I have these nice rooms, and I would set up here and try a little video. I might have a friend join me in a minute. If not, she'll be in the next one. Today, I want to talk about the Efflorescent Tarot. This is one that I had received in a recent exchange. As you recall, I recently come into several new decks, but they're just new to me. They're not new decks, and they're ones I got through trades or credits or ones where I had resold decks to a resale shop, and then they also sell used decks. So I kind of turned in some ones that I didn't really want to use anymore, and then got some ones that were new to me that I had been wanting to try. The Efflorescent Tarot, when I first saw it on the Hermit's Cave, I thought, absolutely beautiful. And just the paintings, the watercolor, and there's sort of this this element of the faces and the characters in this tarot you will see, tarot that you will see, and we'll discuss that as we go through. I do want to discuss the creator. Her last name is Pepper. Olivia Pepper, and by Peony Coin Archer. Botanically inspired deck, Rider-Waite-Smith tradition with 22 cards, major arcana, 4 traditional suits, illustrated by Peony Archer, and interpretive guidebook by Olivia Pepper. So I wanted to be sure and put that out. These two ladies are doing a phenomenal job. They're self-publishing, and they're working together to get these shipped out. And if you remember when my haul I went through when I first introduced this and said come back and do a walkthrough of it, for some reason an old address popped into my order slot, and they got the wrong address, and they had to go to the post office and actually manually change it. And they were brilliant through the whole process. I had no troubles getting the deck or communicating with them. So if this is one you've been looking for, it did go out because they sold out, but it's back because they've been working to get more copies. The box, 2-part, very sturdy, very standard. It's just the paper from the cover carried in the front, and then there's this center design here, which I love, the star. So that's beautiful. And then the guidebook. I would say the guidebook is basic to the RWS, but the narrative descriptions they give for each card, or that she gives for each card, is a little more poetic, I guess. It's not poetry, it's not rhyming, but you know what I mean. It just has a more fluid, to me, emotional. Let's look at the Knight here. This is the Knight of Swords. So it can be wise to let passions guide us, to allow our whims to govern. Sometimes it is our anger or our grief or our fear that makes us the most fierce and capable, the most resilient. Herein lies a message of memento mori, to remember that you too must die, and therefore you must also live. So I love that. Intensity, thresholds, determination. It does connect it to the other RWS, but it gives it this layer of thoughtfulness that I really like. It's not so formulaic. The bottom of the box has the floral there, and it has the write up. Just beautifully done. It's sort of a matte. It is matte. It is not rose petal. Now I will say this. I've got these mixed up. I'm going to straighten these out, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Okay, now that I've got that back. Actually, it was just the major arcana. There were a couple of cards in the minors that were mixed up, but evidently I had flipped through the majors to look. But we'll start with the cards now. You'll notice it has a gilding. I do like just the plain gilding, silver, gold, blue, whatever that you want it to be. I'm not too much on the glitters or the anything added to it. I think gilding is enough if you're going to do that. The backs have this beautiful spot finishing on those sun images. And these little ones may not come through, but the little ones all through here, little touches. Let me see if I can get it to show up just a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see more of it. So it's just enough. It's not overkill, but these backs are gorgeous. Most of the time, backs are just okay, but these I really like. I like that sort of patterning. I'm trying to see if I can get this glare off. There's a light right above me. Let me see if I can move back there. There we go. Do like that. I'm going to have to rearrange mine. All right, we'll go with it. All right. So, and I'll hold the cards up like this so you can see them. So this is the Fool. You will notice it is really glossy. And then if you look at the colors, they are watercolor, which I believe is absolutely beautiful. But the art itself is, the word that comes to mind is whimsical. But then also it has this melancholy to it that has been mentioned in other reviews I've seen. I don't know if this is a deck I would use for shadow work because of the melancholy. I think the shadow work should be more directed at what's internally there. If it were a rainy day, or there was a day I was feeling melancholy, then maybe this is a deck I would use for sort of like comfort. It's like that. It's like reading a novel that you know is not going to end great, but it's a great story, or watching that love story that doesn't have quite the ending you want, and you've got the Kleenex sitting right beside you. I think that's this. The colors in this, when you look at this online, the colors are more brilliant when you see it online. They're a little bit darker here. Two things with that. One is I did read that independent publishers don't always have access to the digital equipment that brings out that natural light. Whether that's true in this case or not, I don't know. The second factor is, which I suppose is the majority of it, is anytime you have a heavy gloss or a heavy coating on a card, that will darken a brighter color, from what I've read. There may be coatings and things that don't do that, but what I was reading was on independent publishing, self-publishers, and colors, and that tended to be the two common issues, with colors appearing darker than the original intent of the artist. Now, I did read one spot, it was from a few years ago, so I don't know if that's still the case. I think it was a little article or note or review from when the deck first came out, and in that couple of paragraphs it said that the creators were looking for a publisher. I don't know if that's still the case, but regardless, I wouldn't wait for that, because I don't know how long they will publish this. I don't know how long they will want to keep self-publishing this before they move on to another project or do something different. So if it's one you've been looking at and one you may want, you might want to look into that. This expression on this face, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it real clearly, but it almost is like she needs a hug. It's not like she has, she's looking for comfort from the strength inside her. So she's having to dig deep right there, is the way I read it. It's just a very different take on these major archetypes, which I really like. One thing I have noticed is that when I'm filming this and looking at it, it doesn't look as clear as I want it to be. But then when I go and back and look up the uploaded version, it comes out better. So I'm saying sometimes things aren't coming out clear, but then later I'll go back and see it and like, oh, I guess it did. So I'll go back and watch this and make sure I do proper touch-ups and things of that nature to ensure that they come out clean. Look at the look on this face for Temperance. It's almost forlorn. So there's definitely a different mood here. I take this as the different faces of misery or the different faces of evil. I'm really not quite sure how I would read this. I would have to depend on the question and the querent and maybe the work I was doing personally if I were using it. I love this Tower card. I love how the waves are painted. It really gives you this sense of isolation. Being out on that lighthouse that's maybe out on this little shoot off or peninsula that's been overtaken by the waves. The Star card. The brilliance of this star juxtaposed against the darkness and the lightness of the character, and just incredible. Now, there is a dog and a wolf. And the crab. I always look at these, and sometimes it looks like a crab, and sometimes it looks like a lobster. And to me right now, this one absolutely looks more lobster-esque. But the sun, I love this. Well, it's, you know, these flowers are evidently tall. If you've ever seen a field of sunflowers or walked through a field of sunflowers, it can be like this, where they're up to your neck, sometimes taller than you. And there was a lady that lived down the street from me that had a large back garden filled with sunflowers. And I just remember thinking I could just get lost in that field of sunflowers. But then they're rising above the flowers, they're becoming part of the flowers to absorb the light of the sun. Just love this. Judgment. A card I would have to think about. It's not typical Judgment. So I'm not sure what's going on with the reindeer, the lady, the man here. Maybe it's a comment on the masculine and the feminine, and the innocent, the child within, the inner child. I don't know, there's a lot of ways you can go with that. So just well done. And then the World. Her veil or scarf or wrapping almost looks like flame. It might be intended to be flame. See how it just sort of comes off up here. Looks like sun or red fire behind these images. Wands. The way this sort of cloud or smoke is drawn is really an homage to Pamela Colman-Smith's cloud formations. I love that that's in there. I haven't really looked for those, but that one to me is fairly obvious. You see how instead of it looking like this bright future, it's very it's almost mysterious in a way, but it does have this feeling of forlorn, and the fact that the colors are not as bright as intentionally meant to be, especially if you were to see this in the online picture, then the wood tones would be more through. The greens and reds would be coming through more. But they're there, but they're darkened. So I think it fits in with the expressions on the faces of the people. I don't think it takes away from the deck. I think it actually contributes to the facial expressions. There's almost this look of not having to fight or battle or defend, but this feeling of, I've got my walls up right now. I need this time alone. So I'm not really battling anyone, but this is where I need just to go into my quiet space, maybe with a book, maybe with my journal, maybe with just a movie, and turn off the phone to protect my space. And this to me does not come out as battling and protection. It comes out more of like, this is a fence that this person is building, because see how they're looking away? It's not like they're really directed toward any action. They're just like, I just need this little green space right here to refresh and renew. Or is this the one I was thinking about? They're similar. They're certainly similar. No, that's right. The other one was battling. This one's more of like, that's done and this is what's left from the battle. But maybe this is what happens if you don't take that time alone. You don't stand behind your wall. You don't complete it, and you don't take that time you need. So you feel injured because you didn't. These are just the way I'm reading them. I've not read the entire book. I've just read some examples of the cards. Now she's holding this very tightly. What does she need to let go of? The expressions on these faces, I tell you, just really hit me in the gut. It's a beautiful ace card. These sort of look like the colors of flames, but then they look like feathers, but then they look like petals. It's just beautiful. The Lovers. This has that feeling to me of whatever we're going through it together. And I'll be there for you and you'll be there for me. Or rely on those people you can trust. Same here, maybe just a bigger group. I really love this deck. Look at this Four of Cups. In this one, she sees the cup. Unlike other ones where it's just there and they're not noticing it, this one she sees it. And she's saying, no, it's enough. I've got these three, and I still feel like I do. I don't need any more. I just need peace. I get that message very strongly in this deck. I need the support of my close friends, my partner, my spouse. Sometimes choices are too many. Sometimes I need that space alone. I really get all of that from this deck, and I think it's phenomenal. This one feels a little bit more joyful, but it's at the end, it's at the completion. Maybe that's when you've had that time. I love how his hair or headdress looks like feathers. I think that's done several times in this. This is beautiful. I love the flowers around here. The Two. Three. working on something, but looks like there's a standstill or a pause in the work. What are you holding on to? Is it enough? Is it not enough? Is this space here made for more room? She's definitely helping in some way, but not taking joy in it, doing it for the sake of helping. Same here. No joy in this. Just simply helping where they can, how they can, when they can, because they see a need and they're fulfilling it. Finally starting to find some balance and peace in the work. This one strikes me as they've gone through the daytime together, and daytime could be a metaphor for many things: years, spans of time, life, or a rough spot or a good time. And night is falling, and they've come to the end of that, but there was a lot of light on the way. This deck, the more I look at it, and this is not the first time I've gone through it, because I keep looking at it, and I like to do that with some decks because I don't know sometimes what to say when I'm going through them with you, and it just takes me time to sort of formulate how they make me feel. So what I share with you when I go through this is how these hit me personally. And then through sharing that, if someone has this deck or wants to get this deck, but yet held back because they didn't quite understand how to accept the images or how to interpret them or how to maybe what's the take on them, this is my personal, emotional, gut, mental reaction, interpretation of these cards and how I might see them when I go to use them. I'll talk about this one in a minute. And so I hope that helps. But this one, this 10, it's not so much, it's not so focused on being stabbed in the back as it being hit from all sides. But then notice the largest concentration is on the throat. She has lost her voice. She has been told what she has to say, what she thinks, what she believes does not matter. And this card really hits me so deeply because growing up in, let's just say, with parents who did not allow us a voice, this really struck me. It took me years and tons of therapy and talks with friends and working through different scenarios to get to where I was able to find my voice. I do not know if even 6 or 7 years ago I would have been able to do a video like this and speak to you and be honest with my feelings and my sentiments and my interpretations. Would I think they had value? I'm at least now able to say they have value to me. So that is the Effervescent Tarot. It is an incredibly beautiful deck, in my opinion, an incredibly thought-provoking deck. and one that will require someone to sit with it. It's not one that you might want to, you might be comfortable with it. It might hit you differently, but for me, when I first saw it, I thought I need to go through these cards 2 or 3 times before I actually start working with it. And now that I've done that, I will see how they work for me. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this was helpful. I hope my insights may assist you in looking at this deck if you've had any questions about it. And remember, regardless of what deck you're using, may every card become a conversation and every reading a step along the path. May your cards reveal what is needed, not merely what is sought. Have a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I will see you next time on Will's Tarot Path.